Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. Whatever time you're seeing this, wherever you are, whoever you are, and whatever class you're in, I am glad to have you guys with me this year. So my name is Mr. Johnson, if you haven't had me before, and I am super excited to get this school year off and going with you guys. So this video is detailing the syllabus for your class, and I made it as simple as possible for all my classes. It's the same, and we're just going to review all the bullet points and big ideas that are on that before you sign it and turn it back into me. So let's dig in. First, at the very top of the syllabus is my name. My website is up there, my email is up there, so you guys can contact me or get in touch or look at resources. My phone for school purposes is up at the top as well. If you leave me a message, I will hopefully get back to you as soon as I can. Where can you find me during the day? One of the last little tidbits of information. I will always be in room 813, which is right here. Okay? If you are at digital right now, learning at home, then you'll just have to contact me digitally. But if you're here, come on down to my room and I'd be happy to talk. Right below that contact information is the schedule for this year. And I know that it looks like a lot, but I'm going to break it down here real quickly and hopefully you'll understand it a little bit better, especially after maybe going through this a couple days. So we have A days and B days. We're on a block schedule. On the A days, you're going to have first, third, and fifth hour, so your odd classes. On the B days, you're going to be 2, 4, and 6 for your hours. Now, when do you have A and B days? Well, Tuesdays and Thursdays, had to think there. Tuesdays and Thursdays will be your A days, and then you'll alternate to the B days on Wednesdays and Fridays. Since this is a Monday, it is the one weird day of the year where you will have a B day in front of an A day. So, getting a weird year, started off on a weird day. How about it? Otherwise, you'll just go in that order. So you can see for me, I have statistics first hour, followed by algebra 2, followed by honors algebra 2 for my fifth hour. On those B days, I have honors algebra 2 for both of those hours, second and fourth. Classes are a little bit longer this year. They're about an hour and a half, so we'll have plenty of time to do things in class, and we'll talk more about what that will look like here at the end of the syllabus. At the end of the day, down below that, is the remote learner check-in. That time is designated for e-learners. Now, I'm not saying that people who go home from school and are working on their stuff can't come in and ask a question, but e-learners have to check in during this time frame. We have set up different time slots so that it kind of stays in order and you won't be double booked at any point in time during that afternoon session. So from 1:30 to 2:10, 40 minutes worth, you will have first hour. And then from 2:10 to 2:50, you'll go to third hour, and then finish the day off 2:50 to 3:30, you'll be at fifth hour. So I tried to put those vertically in the same slot so you can see that first and then third and then fifth hour, when you would be present up at the top versus when you would be e-learning and checking in and asking questions. Just a quick note on that schedule. On the syllabus, the e-learning time frames when you check in are a little bit long. So the official times that you're going to be in the first, third, fifth, or the second, fourth, sixth hours for e-learning are 5 minutes shorter than what I wrote. And that gives you a little bit of a passing period to transition from 1 hour to the next. So technically, I'm wrong, but we'll just let out 5 minutes earlier than the times that I show on my syllabus. Now, the expectation for those e-learners is that they are actually doing a lot of the material at home. I can't lecture during that 40-minute session. It's just not enough time. Plus, I would be teaching all my classes essentially twice. So you're expected to come prepared, maybe with a question or two that I can clarify. And if you need help on the homework, things like that, that's what that e-learning time is for. But attendance and then Q&A session is basically how I'm thinking of that 40-minute session for each hour. Similar to those A days, you will have the B remote learning check-in times, and second hour will be before fourth hour. Again, I don't have a sixth hour this year, and so that time will be free. At the very end of that schedule is lunch. Lunch is pretty much the same time every single day from 1 to 1:30, and I would appreciate having that time off since all the teachers are doing a lot of stuff. It's going to be really important for students and teachers to just take a break, catch a breath, eat some food, hopefully healthy food, and just kind of de-stress for a little bit. On Mondays, so we go 4 days a week, but on the Mondays, everyone is at home, and so I will have things scheduled for you to do on Mondays. And you will probably have an assignment or something to do on Google Classroom, which, if you notice at the bottom of the schedule, there's a lot of goofy letters and numbers. That is the class code for your Google Classroom. So if you're in my first hour statistics, we're going to have you sign up for Google Classroom using that code of WGUFLFC. Okay, and so everyone needs to be joining the Google Classroom. That's one of the expectations I'll talk about here in a second. But I tried to fit those in with each class so that you won't lose it. And everyone can join their respective Google Classroom. So here are the expectations. I put it in a list so it's easy to digest. Expectation 0. Wear a mask, wear it properly, keep it on. All right, this should go without saying. All right, this is the expectation for everyone this year. You can potentially have a snack or have a drink and remove your mask momentarily, but as soon as that is done, and hopefully you're doing that quickly, you're going to put your mask back on and cover your mouth and nose. Wear it properly, okay? That is for the sake of the classroom, okay, and their health. I'll try my best to give the class breaks outside if possible, so we can socially distance and take our masks off and keep working and do things like that. But this is probably going to be a once in a while type of thing, so don't expect it every single day. Number 1, you need to sign up for the Google Classroom. As I mentioned just before this, you have the codes underneath your hour. And so go to Google Classroom, click Join a Class, type in that code, and it'll automatically enroll you in my hour. If it looks strange or if it's not working, get a hold of me. Email me, something like that. So everyone's expected to join the Google Classroom, even if you are not remote learning, because there may be fluidity, and if we have to quarantine, that is how you'll stay in touch and keep doing your classwork. Materials for Mondays are also going to be given out on Google Classroom, and so it's just an expectation that everybody joins. That's why bullet point number 1. Bullet point number 2 is equally as important. Math is very hard to do entirely digital. You need that physicality and being able to write things down and brainstorm and have scratch work and all that stuff. And so we're going to have papers in addition to digital resources. And so you need to have a 2-inch binder. You might be able to get away with a binder that's smaller, so such as this. This is a 1-inch binder, but I'm going to try to print everything out all at once so that you have it for the full semester. I don't know if I'll be able to print out the whole year. That would be a lot of paper all at once, but we'll at least try to hook you up so you have as much material ahead of time as possible and you don't have to worry about printing things off, because I know that's maybe an issue for a lot of students. Every single day we'll probably open up to a certain page in that, and we are essentially creating our book. There's not really a book for statistics or a book for Algebra 2 or Honors Algebra 2. We make the book and we go through it and fill it out, and that's what a lot of the digital resources will be covering, that material. So you have to have your binder. You can't lose it, please. And so if you sign up for Google and you have your binder, you're pretty much set for the whole year. The third bullet point is really just a morale booster. We're all in this together. This is going to be a very strange year, just in how we have to adapt, but I hope that we all have each other's back, that we work together as a team, and things are going to look different, but I'm kind of excited to try some new things, and it might be stressful at times, but I hope that it's an experience that you're going to grow from, that we all can grow from, and that when we come through on the other side, we'll appreciate what we had, and we'll appreciate maybe what we created together. So have a positive attitude every single day and work hard. Give your best in every situation, regardless of if you're in control of the outcome or not, and keep an open mind and a positive attitude. After those bullet points, I have some things that are specific maybe to the department and our math classes. So I would encourage all my students to buy a graphing calculator. This is not only for this class, whether that's Algebra 2 or statistics, but it will benefit you later on. If you take college courses, you'll definitely benefit from having a graphing calculator of your own. If you take pre-calculus or calculus, they use those tools quite a bit. And I know that they can be expensive. One thing that I always advise students to try to do is maybe look online, like at eBay or maybe Amazon or some of those other places to see if you can get one that's used. And those are quite often a lot cheaper than going to Walmart or another big store and buying it brand new. One other thing that I've heard people doing is going to like Goodwill or Salvation Army around this time because they will get them from students who don't use them anymore. Not everyone's going to after school. I totally get that. And so you might be able to find a graphing calculator for 20 bucks or less. So keep an eye out, look for a bargain, and if you have any questions, just get in touch with me. I'd be happy to help. In addition to using graphing calculators, I am expecting to use Desmos a little bit more this year. If you're not familiar with Desmos, it is an app that can be on your phone. It's also a website on the internet that is basically an online graphing calculator. It's free, so you don't have to pay for it. And we're going to try to do a lot more activities there because sometimes for students getting an app will just be the easiest way to get through and see some of the visuals of math. It is a great resource. I would encourage you to go download it from the Google Play Store or the Apple Store. And we'll kind of use graphing calculators and Desmos interchangeably throughout the year. I will say as a last note though that Desmos won't do everything that a graphing calculator can. Especially for statistics, there are some specific programs and things like that that statistics has on a graphing calculator. It doesn't matter if it's Casio or if it's a TI, Texas Instrument graphing calculator, but there are certain things that you will have to do on a calculator. Desmos just won't cut it, at least not yet. Towards the bottom of the syllabus, I talk about homework. Homework's going to be collected probably the following week after it's handed out. Things this year for the schedule are going to be stretched out a little bit more just so we can be flexible. And so I know in the past there may have been specific like you get one day to do the homework type of arrangements, but we're going to be a little bit more lenient to allow for questions and to hopefully iron out some of the problems that might come from being distant and not being in a classroom face to face. My expectation is that probably at the beginning of every single class we'll go through questions that you might have from the work that's been assigned. And so that'll be a little way to warm up and open up our discussion, and then we'll probably dig into something new or do whatever is planned for that day. But you have to try things outside of class in order to come prepared and ready to maybe ask that one question you weren't able to get. Late homework's not going to be accepted after the unit test. I say test, but I'm probably going to be trying to do more project-based assessments this year. And so that's something that as a department we're still really trying to figure out how do we get points and collect points and things like that. But homework will be finished and turned in for that chapter when we have that project turned in. So those are my expectations for homework. A newer policy that we have in terms of homework quizzes is that it can be up to 10% of your final grade, and this is something that I think is going to benefit a lot of students. Those Mondays that I talked about earlier, where everyone is online and doing the same thing, are probably going to be days where you have a very informal homework quiz. It could be questions directly from the homework, it could be questions that have numbers changed slightly, it could be even writing and describing and explaining how you understand something or a concept that we're talking about. And so those are going to be probably different looking questions than you have received in math classes before this, but that's going to be a way for you to earn points for your grade, to show me what you have learned and to be accountable for some of the materials. So homework quizzes are probably going to be on Mondays through Google Classroom. Again, if you have questions on anything here on the front page, I would encourage you to email me or send me a message on Google Classroom, whatever that might be, and I will try to get back to you and answer those questions as I can. Flipping over to the back of the syllabus here, the absence policy is kind of hands up. We don't know how that's going to work a little bit this year, but if you know you might be gone for a day for whatever reason, hopefully not a bad reason, please communicate with me beforehand, okay? We can try to get you materials so that you don't fall behind and just support you in that way. If you are transitioning from physical learning to e-learning because of quarantine or isolation or whatever, then let me know via email. Don't come talk to me, please. But we'll get you hooked up and you'll be joining probably the e-learning side of things. So in all my classes, we have people who are in class and people who are online, and so that the number of people in each group might kind of fluctuate a little bit depending on the circumstances. If there is one thing to remember this year, just communicate. That'll be the big thing, okay? So that's part of growing up a little bit too. Talk to me and we'll work something out. I'm pretty understanding, but when you don't talk to me at all, like, how am I supposed to know that? Below the absence policy is the cheating policy. So if you're caught cheating, it might be both parties that are punished in the end. I have had this happen, unfortunately, several times in my time as a teacher, and punishment there could be removal from school, other things like that, office discipline referrals, internal suspension, receiving zeros on those homeworks or projects or tests or whatever it might be. And usually when you get a 0 on something, that is an anchor to your grade, and it's hard to recover from that weight pulling your grade down. So just don't cheat, and we won't have to worry about it. One thing that's become an increasingly hard problem to deal with is Photomath. It's an app where you just take a picture of your problem and it will do all the work for you. Photomath can be a good tool, but in 99% of the cases that I have dealt with over the past few years, it is just copying down what Photomath tells you. And I am very good at spotting students who use Photomath because I understand what Photomath is doing, and usually students do not. And so if you use Photomath for that purpose of copying things down, that is cheating in my perspective. Now, if you're going to use Photomath, you have to get it cleared with me. Sometimes it can be a good tool to check your work, but it's not supposed to be a tool where you just copy and do exactly what it says. So please do not use Photomath. I will be looking out for it a lot this year. Contact information, if you're reading that big paragraph there, is basically however you can get in touch with me. Okay? I am going to have my time away from school and not being a teacher, and so if I'm not working, it might not be right away that I can respond to you. It might be the next morning or something along those lines, but I will get back to you. Okay, communicating is important. You can do that through my website. You can do that through email. You can call here at school. I've kind of talked about all of those things. One thing that I haven't mentioned is my YouTube channel, where I will probably be posting a lot of the videos and materials and resources. Leaving a comment on one of those videos is something that I try to respond to, because I know that that is something that students are doing in their off time, and so they might need clarification. We do have district websites, and so if you go to my district website, under P. Johnson, Philip Johnson, not Matt Johnson, he is the music teacher, so same last name, different subjects, be careful there, but you can email me through that route as well. I don't care how you contact me, but I hope that we kind of understand maybe some of the limitations of school versus personal, especially in a year like this where things are crazy and that line has been blurred more than ever. At the very bottom of your syllabus, this is the last big thing, save the best for last, it is the technology agreement form. More than ever, we're going to be using technology to support students and to help get that knowledge out and communicate and things like that. So throughout the semester, I'm going to be using a lot of different tools. Our projects are going to involve technology, and so this is something that students are going to need to agree to, but I want parents to be aware as well. Typically, if students are allowed on computers here in school, they've already agreed to these terms anyway. And so this is just something that I know on my end of students are going to do what they're expected. So this could be online surveys, games, videos, other interactive activities. I like to try to make math as fun as possible. Group projects that are worked out in class and then online, things like that. Video recordings, audio snippets that you would be creating for maybe a project. Collaboration and discussion on Google Classroom. All of those things are going to involve technology, and so it's something that you're going to need to consent to as a parent and as a student that is okay. Many of these things are going to be in addition or kind of enhancing the classroom experience. If we go entirely digital, then we're going to be absolutely forced to use these tools, and so look it over, read the paragraphs down below, kind of respecting your privacy and things like that. And at the very bottom of your syllabus, go ahead and you can check the boxes if you're a parent, check the parent box. If you're a student, check the student box, and make sure you sign and date at the very bottom. These are things that I'm going to need back so I can have a record of them and that we have this kind of contract during the class. Thank you for watching the video. I appreciate if you are a parent and you wanted to kind of see what was said today in class, or if you are an e-learner and you are starting your year off this way. I hope that this year will go well, and I am going to do everything in my power to make it as productive and enjoyable and beneficial and all those other adjectives that guys, I've done this end scene like 4 times. This year is going to be tough, but we'll make it. We'll do it. Okay, just keep a positive attitude, and we'll see how it goes. Okay, I'm really excited, and I hope that you're excited as well. And we'll get through this together. Teamwork makes the dream work. Thanks for watching this video, guys. We'll catch you on the next one.